I keep getting questions concerning verses like Romans 6:14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. You see, many people don't understand when they learn that I and others believe that we are to still follow the commandments and the laws of the Old Testament given by God to Moses. They say, can't you read? It says right here we are no longer under the law, Romans 6:14. What they don't understand is that Paul is speaking of no longer being under the law of sin and death, which is the punishment for breaking the law, the tutor that brings the punishment of instruction. What Paul is talking about is the curse the law brings when you don't follow it. 1 John 3:4. Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. That's what sin is. It's transgressing the law. Because many people today do not read and study the beginning of the Bible, they misunderstand Paul when he speaks of the curse of the law, or being under the law, which is a curse. He is simply quoting Moses in the Old Testament. Deuteronomy 11, verse 26. See, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. A blessing if you obey the commandments of the Lord your God that I am giving you today, and the curse if you disobey the commandments of the Lord your God. Basically, the people of Israel are standing before the Jordan River, ready to inherit the land. But Moses does a replay of all the commandments the Father gave to their parents in the wilderness and tells them that if you do not obey the Father and His commandments, you will be cursed. If you obey Him, you will be blessed. We see this repeated again a few chapters later, Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all of His commands and decrees that I am giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. And then, in verse 19, you will be cursed when you come in and cursed when you go out. You see, Paul says in Romans 6 that the wages of sin is death. What he's saying is the curse for transgressing God's law is death. What Christianity fails to realize is that Jesus became that curse for us so that we could live. But that doesn't mean we now ignore the law. Look at what Paul says in the next verse. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. What Paul is asking is this. Is it okay to sin or transgress the law knowing that we won't be punished for it? We won't get the curse. Well, he says, God forbid. What is sin? Well, we already know what sin is. It's transgressing the law, 1 John 3:4. We are saved by His grace, but the law is still to apply to our lives today. I use the following example a lot. You're driving down a long road and you accidentally blow through a red light. You didn't mean to, but you did. Or maybe you did mean to. Maybe you thought you could beat the light. However, nearby, a police officer sees you and pulls you over and issues you a ticket for failing to obey that red light. At that point, you are now under the law. The punishment of the law is going to have an effect on you, and there is no escaping it. The day arrives for your appointment in traffic court. You step before the judge and admit your guilt. He sentences you to a fine, and you write a check and pay that fine. Because your fine has now been paid, you are now dead to the law. The law no longer holds dominion over you. It's the punishment of the law, not the law itself. You are free to walk out of that courtroom and be on your way. However, does that mean you can continue to run red lights on your way home from traffic court? Those traffic laws were put in place to bless you if you follow them and curse you if you don't. Don't believe me? Well, try running a bunch of red lights, and as you wake up in your hospital bed, let me know if you feel blessed or if you feel cursed. The Father's laws for His children were created to keep His kids close, to keep them protected and insulated from error and from the things of the world. Today, ministries and pastors have Paul so confused with being against the law, they have no idea anymore that he is in fact actually talking about the curse the law brings when you break it, and not the law itself. The Apostle Peter warned us that some of Paul's letters were hard to understand. An account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, also according to the wisdom given unto him, hath written unto you, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which some things are hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrest, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. When Peter mentions they who are unlearned, what are these people unlearned about? He's talking about people who haven't yet learned the foundation of the Scriptures, the Torah. He finally goes on to mention that these unlearned are falling to destruction and being led away with the error of the wicked, falling from steadfastness. For more videos and teachings, visit our website at newtotorah.com.